What's good, everybody? And I gotta say, it's like almost 11 p.m. for me right now. Excuse my bare face and the lighting. It's cozy time right now. But I've just been having like a think, and I've been doing some reflection, and I'm looking at what everyone is currently saying about the 2.7 live stream and people's thoughts about the patch, and it seems to be like quite divided. I don't remember a time where things have felt kind of this divided for Woowa for a hot minute, which is, you know, kind of interesting. I kind of made this tweet in response to all of it, saying like, you know, there's a lot of people have conflicting opinions. I mean, just look at some like content creators, for example. You have Saint Tontus, arguably, you know, the biggest Wuthering Waves creator, say Kuro isn't listening. This update is a 7 out of 10. You have Ethan going, no combat event is disappointing. We have VXV being like 2.7 in terms of QOL is super ultra like mega ass. We just have like a lot of people and figures in this space right now who feel kind of like let down to some degree or disappointed by the lack of things to do and updates in Wuthering Waves right now. And I think it's like a difficult, conflicting time for the community for a number of reasons, and I kind of want to talk about them and why that might be, and maybe shed a bit more of a positive light on the whole situation. Like, as we could see, I did a video earlier going through all the patch notes. As you can see, I still stand by this. This is probably one of the shortest patch notes that we've had in Woowa, right? We're coming to the end of Renacita, the whole Renacita arc, and this is the very, very short patch notes, which is, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I kind of want to explain why. So first of all, when it comes to QOLs, I don't expect Woowa or Kuro to make any insane major QOLs now until 3.0. Because the people who are here right now for the 2.7 story, the finale, are people that have been playing every patch. They could be playing 2.7 regardless. They're going to want to find a conclusion to that arc. There aren't people who are suddenly going to be like, oh, I want to play Woowa for the first time because of these like QOLs. Like, no, this is really for the people who are like wanting to finish the story. And all the big QOLs that they might do, all the new integrations, either a new endgame mode, new big overhauls, maybe like a dorm system, anything like that, we 100% won't see until 3.0 at this point. It's very late into the 2.x cycle. I really feel they're saving that one particular, those big hitters for 3.0. It just makes the most logical sense. Because the standout for Woowa right now is 100% the story. That is the thing that everybody is talking about. That's what everybody cares right now, is the story. And we could see that by how they've progressing their patches, right? 2.6 by also with 2.4, lightly we tossed the crown. We had the two-part story with Lupa and Cartathea and going to Septimont for the first time. That was a huge story, right? There was a lot went on. It was very lore deep. Okay, this is a very lore deep patch. And then right after that, we had 2.5. We had the Frolova quest, which, you know, was one of the most biggest, divisive, most discussed patches we've ever had in Woowa, where they had the storytelling, the most peak storytelling. They had amazing music, and it ended us with having like a lot of really interesting discussions, and it got us to unearth a lot of deeper meanings within Woowa and a lot of darker themes that we haven't really come across before, and everyone considered it to be like a massive like step in the right direction. And then with 2.6, we're coming along and we're introducing Augusta and Yuno and their role in the story, and how the Dark Tide was able to manipulate even more. And we have the False Sovereign, then we have Angel or Galbrina, and how that was able to link in and come about. And it's more setting up world building, setting up story. We've had this back to back. There has not been a story filler patch since like what, 2.1? It's been constantly, or 2.3 even, I should say, since the anniversary. It's just been from the anniversary, it's been like all gas, no brakes on the storytelling, and it's very clear that's the direction Kuro really wanted to go, and they wanted to prove a point. Okay, they wanted to prove a point that they can write a story that people will care about. We can have an argument another time about how good the story writing and world building actually is, but they've definitely like majorly improved to the point where like people are giving it credits and praise all the time, right? Because that's how, one, you sell characters, is writing them a good damn story, and two, that's how you get a community invested in talking about your game, right? Investing into the characters, investing into the story, so they know that writing a good story is paramount to the success of the game. And they really wanted to prove that, hey, we've left 1.0 behind, we're doing this 2.0 and we're gonna do it right. And by God, they managed to completely change the landscape of what people thought Wuthering Waves was. This was a game I initially played for like, oh, the gameplay and combat looks fun. Don't really care much for the story. It was kind of ass, not gonna lie. But now it's like, I care about the story. I want to see it through. It's completely changed the way I enjoy this game. So the fact that what we have for 2.7 is really just like a story and not much else, personally, this might be a controversial opinion, I don't particularly care that much, because I really only care about the story right now. That's just it. I just really only care about the story right now, and I think that's fine. That's totally okay. I know a lot of people are disappointed that there are no combat events. I think there's something that's actually like really interesting that I saw. Someone was like, no combat events, bad patch. Combat events, okay or good patch. I've seen this so many times, and here I am thinking how 2 hours worth of combat out of the 6 weeks patch cycle can change people's view of the patch as a whole so much. All patches are equally bad in terms of content. And someone says, what is this? And they point to combat event. I do have to say, the recent combat event that was showcased in Wuthering Waves livestream, I don't think it's a good idea to call it a combat event. It's definitely a mini game that has combat mechanics in it, but nothing that extensively uses like an actual like character's kit to do things. You know what I mean? It feels more like a mini game than a combat event. And I've had a few people being like, wow, that's the consequence of asking for more mini games in the surveys and stuff like that. I guess we'll never particularly know. We'll never know if that was the case or not, but it's just interesting how the combat events are so crucial for people's like enjoyment of WoW, and I understand, right? Because the combat is what distinguished WoW from like other gaches. It's what distinguished it from Genshin Impact, and they were fun. And we haven't had one, a good one, for like what, 3 patches now since 2.4, since Banners Never Fall, I believe it was the last time we had a proper combat event or crisis trials. They kind of did them like back to back, didn't they? It's kind of a shame. Maybe they should have staggered them, or maybe they should like recycle some of them. I understand, because there are people who like to play for those events, even though they're not amazingly long, right? You're not getting days worth of content out of these. You'll probably still do them in a day, but it's kind of a shame that the game that was, you know, built upon good combat doesn't have the combat events that people liked it for, and instead focuses on story. But at least the story is good, right? And that's kind of the toss-up that's happening right now. So we're in a very interesting landscape of WoW, and I don't know, I just feel this is kind of why I wanted to make this kind of a throwaway video, but I just kind of feel this like weird energy in the air. I don't know if anyone else feels this or if it's just me. It just seems to be this silly vibe, and I think it's just like amplified by basically like every single creator almost, just kind of like not doom posting a bit about WoW, but being like, you know, this isn't good, 7 out of 10 bad. And I just can't help but think like, I really just only care about the story right now. Like, even if there was a combat event in this, I don't think it would change my mind how I feel right now. It's just like, maybe it's my relationship with WoW and how I perceive it as a game right now. I kind of like, maybe I've just been coping this whole time for good combat events, that I'm just like, oh, I just all I care about is the story now. But it is, I'm just being honest. WoW is a game that I play for the story now, and I'm gonna be honest, after 2.7 I'm probably gonna take a break in 2.8, and I'll come back at 3.0 and I'll do 2.8 like a week before 3.0 comes out or something like that, because I need that time away. I do. And I think maybe other people might as well. We're coming up to like a year and a half of like woo, it feels like almost. And I think taking that space away and reflecting and being like, okay, I'm going to come back when I really want to play again. When I really, really want to play, it might be a healthy thing and it might be beneficial, because the vibes just seem weird. I don't know why. But I think, you know, I'm trying to shed a bit of light on why things the way they are. And Kura's just clearly set on one thing, and that's just making a good fucking story, making their cinematics peak and proving a point. And hopefully in 3.0 they can merge the two together. Amazing storytelling along with great gameplay and a good gameplay loop. I think that is where Wuthering Waves struggles the most right now, is the daily gameplay loop. Because you log in, maybe play for 5 minutes, if that, do your daily, spend your wave plates, and you leave. It's like, it's rough. But again, is that a problem with WoW, or is that a problem with gacha, or a problem with like a live service game? Like a lot of live service games are really good at keeping you fixated and playing continuously, but gachas don't really have that same kind of like pull value and retention value every single day that those other live service games do. So what do you think they could do to make the gameplay loop better, more exciting? And why do you guys think there seems to be some kind of like discontent or divide going on right now in the community? Personally, I'm happy with it. Am I over the moon? No, I'll never be over the moon that there seems to be a decrease in content compared to like a previous patch. Like, absolutely. I'm not trying to be here and just be a Kura bot and defend it till my last breath, but at the same time, I feel like adding in one more combat event isn't really going to change my opinion that much either. You know, it's not suddenly going to go from like mid to the best patch ever. So it's just kind of interesting. So I'm wondering if maybe people are starting to have like wooer fatigue slightly. I don't know, we'll see. But that's just kind of my thought. I just wanted to ramble. For some reason, you guys like watching me ramble about topics and silly things. So here we are. I'm rambling at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm so tired, and I'm probably gonna fall asleep. So subscribe so you grow inches on your pee-pee. That's really good. I appreciate y'all. I'm live every day. I'm live 11 a.m. UTC or 6 a.m. EST. Check out Twitch, which is in my pinned comment. All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.